Guys, there is no reason to panic. Literally no reason to panic. In this video, I'm gonna show you why there is no reason to panic. But I know why you are panicking, because we did dump down, something like 9.14% towards downside, and everybody is like, yeah, it's over, we are going down. It's like you are not used to getting the 9.40% dumps towards downside. We had a big move towards the upside, guys. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand. If you go to the daily time frame, the move towards upside from the bottom towards upside is 34.98%. 35% move towards upside in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Actually, less than 5 days. Yeah, 5 days. 35% towards the upside, and you are panicking over a 10% dump. 10% dump over here. You're panicking over this little thing over here. Now, I don't know if you're actually panicking, but I did see some comments both on Telegram and on Twitter as well. People are like, it's going back down again, it was a blow off top, game over right now. So in this video, I'm gonna explain to you what's actually happening, and there is no reason to panic yet. I mean, of course, there is always a reason to panic when we break something very important, but right now, nothing is actually broken towards downside. The only thing we have actually managed to do with this 35% pump is break a whole bunch of resistance levels, and right now it looks so beautiful. It looks so beautiful. If you've been watching today's Bitcoin daily chart, Bitcoin daily video, you will remember that we talked about liquidity. We're gonna talk about liquidity in this video, but you also understand that on the daily time frame does look a little bit sketchy, maybe 4 hour, a little bit, nice over here and there. But on the weekly time frame, it is one of the most beautiful charts you can actually find. And I said to people, if you could find this chart on some kind of altcoin, and you looked at this chart and you did not know that this was a Bitcoin, you would think this is the most beautiful chart ever. Disregarding the moving averages, like if you just saw something like this, and this was some kind of, shitcoin, number 2546 on the list, and you saw this, weekly chart, you would be buying the heck out of this coin. Why? Well, number one, it did break down the trend. As we all know, the trend is broken. So this big downtrend over here that was going towards downside, that got broken over here. Then we had another trend line over here that got broken towards downside, right? Towards upside, right? So this downtrend over here got broken towards upside. So what we are doing over here right now is we are actually consolidating up here. Not only that, if you look at up here, this consolidation, and this line can actually be a little bit adjusted up here. We got a low and a higher low on the chart. We got a high and a higher high on the chart. The trend up here, these highs up here were broken towards upside. We changed the market structure, market structure that people are talking about. It's changed, guys. It looks good. So if this was some kind of shitcoin that you're buying, you would be buying the heck out of this, because you would be looking at something like this over here, and you would be like, oh man, as soon as this breaks the resistance up here, and you can see right now it is breaking the resistance, but it's still not yet there, but we are indeed getting a higher high, and right now still higher high. Of course, still 5 days left on the chart, so you cannot actually conclude anything, but the chart looks good. On the weekly time frame, there is no problems in the paradise. Everything looks good and dandy. So that said, let's go a little bit back in the, back to reality a little bit over here. On the small time frames, look at here a little bit on the daily time frame up here. Do you understand how much bullishness we just created with this move towards the upside in these last 5 days, 4 or 5 days? Do you know how? The bullishness is measured by the amount of resistance line you can break. The bullishness is measured about how many support lines you can actually hold. And some of the most important support lines were held. This is the 200 moving average on the daily time frame. We held that 200 moving average on the daily time frame. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. We did not break that. 2-day time frame up here, we got a 50 moving average down here, right over there. On the 2-day time frame, we held that support level like boss, and bounced off of that. That's huge, and it wasn't small bounce, it was a huge bounce. Look here now, weekly time frame, 20 moving average with the wick towards downside, held that like a boss, pump right up there again. It is huge thing, right? That shows bullishness. That is what we like to see. That is bullishness on the charts. that is what making us bullish. That's one thing. One thing is, you know, holding the support levels, important support levels. These are some of the most important levels. 200 on the daily, 50 moving average on 2-day time frame, weekly time frame, 20 moving average. Some of the most important levels on the chart. We held that like a boss. And now look at this, guys. Now look at this. If you're not convinced yet, so the next thing that shows bullishness is breaking the resistance levels. You gotta break resistance. You break resistance level, you show bullishness. Now let's pop the moving averages up here so you can see just how much we broke. Now this is the weekly time frame, so we're not gonna count the weekly time frame because it's, you know, this candle is not closed yet. You know, it's not closed. We need closes. Closes shows breakout. Now look here. After we managed to bounce off the 200 moving average, we broke the 10 moving average over here. 10 moving average, the 20, the 50 moving average. All of these moving averages got broken. Why? Because we managed to close above these levels. Above these levels. And this is huge move. Now let's see some horizontal support lines that got broken on this move towards the upside. Some of the most important ones. Here there was a resistance level right over here when we started, and I'm gonna just put all of the resistance level, horizontal resistance level, important horizontal resistance levels, because there are a lot of on certain charts, and all of these got broken. You can see how, you know, we broke just literally everything towards upside up here. Everything got broken. Every single level up here that could act as a resistance level, we broke that in 3 days. It's insanely bullish move. All of these levels got broken. All of these levels up here, these stops up here got broken. This stop up here got broken. This stop up here got broken. This bottom down here got broken. Only thing that didn't get broken just yet is these up here. But look down here, horizontal lines. How many horizontal lines got broken, guys? It is insane amount of resistance lines. All of these lines could have been one of the resistance level. Some are more important than others, some are, you know, because we look for pivot points, but every single one of those is a resistance line. And every single one of those got broken. What didn't break just yet is everything above this line over here. So you'll see right now, I'll just remove all these moving averages, stuff like that. Over here, what we did not broke is this line up here. Why? Because this candle over here did not close above that line. So we still got, you know, 24.2. We still got up here, you know, 24.8. And we still got one, you know, this one up here. So what you're seeing right now on the chart, that we had a big pump up here today. And we're still trying to get above these levels. But that's, you know, you cannot expect to break everything in a single day. Or, you know, this move towards upside took 3 days. You know, we didn't just one move and break all of these support lines, resistance lines that I just showed you. You know, we used 3-4 days to break all of these lines. And so right now, the only thing that's left on the daily time frame up here is this little top up here that needs to be broken. So people are panicking about, you know, we did this big move. And I'm going to show you why we exactly on the dollar stopped over here. And right now we pull back a little bit. Pullbacks are nice. Pullbacks are nice. You know, it might turn bad, and I'm going to tell you when it's going to turn bad, but, you know, those are very nice levels. Now, look more up here. There was a very important, crucial resistance level, trend line, that we actually came back above. This one up here. This is the most important trend line on this daily time frame up here. Do you know why this is the most important trend line on this time on this chart over here? Because this trend line over here indicates when this big dump over here happened, we fell out of something important. Like this up here, you can see this move up here and this move up here. Those are two important moves, and also this move up here. And there are definitely, you know, lines up here, and there is a line up here above these levels up here as well. And these lines got broken, but the most important one on the entire chart over here, on the daily time frame up here, is this line up here when we broke that towards the downside over here. Because you see up here, this trend line got broken up here with force, with the big move, and that's a super bullish move, guys. Super bullish move. Let me show you something else. The reason why we actually stopped up here at the top is because of the trend, guys. It's because of the trend on the dollar, like it's so beautiful. Like look at it, look at its touches up here. Look at its touches up here. Could maybe be a little bit, maybe it's this one up here. Doesn't matter. Yeah, this one is even more beautiful. You understand why we came to the exact level and, you know, bounce back down. Now we did have a 35% pump, so you cannot expect having, you know, 200% pump on one of the most liquid coins in the space, Bitcoin. You know, with a market cap of $500 million or something like that. I don't know, it's not $500 million, 500 billion or something. I don't know even what market cap of Bitcoin is. It's huge. The market cap of Bitcoin is huge. And this thing just pumped 35%. When will you see this in stock market? When will you see this in gold? Never. So you now understand why we stopped up here. So let me explain to you when is the time to panic. And let me just draw this bottom line a lot more nicer up here because it is very nice. So what you see here right now is expanding musical instrument that's going up here. What's happened down here is what we call a spring. We have been waiting for this spring for a long time, guys. We have been waiting for the spring for a long time. Ever since we are over here, I was expecting some kind of spring and then pump. Even this move up, even this drop down here, I was like, it's gonna spring right back up again. I was expecting exactly the same move that's happening right now on the charts. I was expecting it over here. But when it went down and it did not spring, I became a little bit fearful. Unfortunately, that's the way the life is. I became a little bit bearish, of course, because you read a lot of news, a lot of FUD, and you think you're gonna drop down. That didn't happen. We had a nice pump over here, everything nice and dandy, but I was still expecting a spring. And guys, we got a spring now. This over here is the classic spring. Now, why is this a classic spring? Let me explain to you how this actually works. So you got some kind of musical, let's do a channel. Let's say this is a channel or some kind of channel. Let's just pull it here on the sidewise. Price will go in some kind of channel, in some kind of pattern. And oftentimes price will fall out of that channel or that pattern and then try to bounce right back inside. So we oftentimes see, you know, moves outside of the channel, retest down here and then drop down. This is actually a very, very bearish move. It does happen all the time. This is normal, standard, most basic type of technical analysis you can find anywhere. These kind of moves happens all the time. You know, you fall out below the support line, you retest that and you continue towards the downside. The thing about the spring is when it goes for the retest, it doesn't stop over here, it goes back in the channel. And a lot of time it does goes back in the channel. So the next most important move that can happen right now, or what it does after it goes back inside the channel, it goes all the way to the resistance level of that pattern, whichever pattern it is, triangle, falling wedge, channel, doesn't matter what kind of pattern it is, it goes to the resistance line because the support line got broken up here. This was support line, this was the resistance line. It fell out, it tried to go back, it managed to break inside again, and right now the previous resistance line is still gonna act as a resistance line. And here comes the magic, guys. Here comes when the panic can actually happen. So what price is trying to do now is find bullishness to break towards the upside. For you gotta understand, the reason price failed to get out of the channel the first time over here, failed, it could not find enough bullishness, it could not find enough people to push the price towards the upside. So what did the price do? Price fell out on the other side. Here on the downside, a lot of bulls joined the forces, bought the dip and pushed the price up. And right now, with these news forces that they managed to get down there in the dip, they're trying to break out towards the upside. So here is the most crucial point right now. Right now, we must break this level over here. You can see up here, we tried up here, try, failed that. Let's go a little bit back. Let's try again, try, failed that. Okay, let's go down. Let's go down, pick up new forces. A lot of, you know, longs were, you know, created up here. Also a lot of, you know, we're gonna talk about that another time. A lot of new forces were created down here. It went up, broke the previous support level, meaning right now resistance level, inside this expanding musical instrument towards us exactly on the dollar. And right now, it's gonna try to break through that top, up there. And if it manages to break through this top over here, you are expecting a huge pump, This is gonna be the pump that's gonna create a pivot point on the weekly time frame. And that pivot point is gonna show us where we're gonna have the bull, next bull market parabolic top start or something like that, right? I can explain to you that in another video, but that is the moment when this thing is gonna explode. This is only the start. This is only the very, very first start. So right now we are coming to this point up here. And what happens if we actually fail to break this towards the upside over here? What happens if we fail to break? If we fail to break, we will probably go down here, down to the support level again. Now it is crucial to hold the support and then again maybe for another time go and break this towards upside, although these moves happen very, very rarely. If the price goes back down to the bottom side again, it shows a huge amount of weakness and most likely it goes out of the channel. That is the time, ladies and gentlemen, when you should be panicking. That is the time when there should be widespread panic about Bitcoin going down below 10K, about markets crashing, financial crisis and all of that stuff. When we break the support line again, because we are not supposed to break that support line ever again. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are not supposed to break that ever again, because this move when it fails to break up, because we did what we failed to break up here previously, we went down, gathered new forces. Right now we are trying again, third time, to break that resistance level. If that level fails to be broken, if the bears are strong enough and holding this level, we will go back. We don't have to go back, we can just go back a little bit up here and try again, you know, but we need to break this level up here. And if we go down to the support line, I will say this is the most bearish thing that can actually happen on the charts. And if we break this support line over, it's pretty much game over. Bears win, we are going down. That's the time to be panicking. Right now, it's not the time to be panicking. I hope you understand that. I hope you understand that this is not the time to be panicking. Over here, this pullback is normal. 35% move towards the upside, gonna have a 10% pullback. It's just a normal thing to happen, guys. Just a very, very normal thing to happen. Now, let me show you one more thing. If you did not watch the Bitcoin Daily today, we talked about the liquidity levels, and I still see people talking about liquidity levels here and there, but let me explain to you something about the liquidity, guys. Let me explain to you something about liquidity. Let's go to the weekly chart. Let me explain to you something, because you might not have, you know, watched the Bitcoin Daily. Liquidity on the chart is where, you know, where we push the price down or up, and when we can pick up coins. So oftentimes in those liquidity areas, there is a lot of stop losses, there is a liquidation zones, there is a lot of FUD where people sell their coins. So people that have a lot of money, they need these liquidity areas where they can pick up these coins that are being sold so they can go up. You gotta understand, there is not a lot of Bitcoin. There is not a lot of Bitcoin, and people with the big money, they want a lot of Bitcoin. So the way they get the Bitcoin is they figure out where these big liquidity zones are. That means where the stop losses are, where the liquidation zones on the leveraged longs or shorts are, and where they can push the price down to create what we call FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, where people get into fear and start selling their coins to strong hands. So coins go from the weak hands to the strong hands. Let me show you what happened up here and why there is no reason, literally no reason, to go even lower towards the downside. Over here, we had a liquidity zone down here. Why was this liquidity zone? Because in this area up here, there was a lot of long positions over here created, right? A lot of long positions were created, and then what happens is just below that zone, we create what we call liquidity zone. Now, this liquidity zone got picked up by this move towards the downside. This move went down over here and created a liquidity, you know, it picked up all the liquidity that was able to pick up through entire of this move up here. Once this liquidity zone was created up here, there was create another liquidity zone down here right below us, and the price moved back. Now, it is important to understand that this liquidity zone probably will never get, you know, picked up, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Look here what happened here on the upside over here. We had a liquidity zone just below us up here. So when it's, you know, we had this big move towards the upside. We started going zigzag up here. There was a big liquidity zone down here because people became super bullish. A lot of long positions were created here. We wicked down, picked up all the liquidity below us here, over here, and right back up again with a spring towards the upside. So this liquidity over here got picked up. This liquidity over here got picked up. The only liquidity left right now is this liquidity down here. And, you know, assuming that we need right now is going to go down here to, you know, some kind of 1450K to pick up this little liquidity on the downside, it just sounds very, very crazy. Guys, there is always some kind of liquidity below some kind of zone that never gets picked up. This liquidity over here got never picked up. You know, the liquidity up here that was created below 6K, you know, that got picked up with this move down here. And this move down here picked up all of this liquidity. So this liquidity got, you know, eliminated, and there was a new, you know, bottom liquidity down here. But this over here got never, not even with this Corona dump down here, got, you know, picked up. So there will always be some kind of bottom liquidity that never gets picked up. And right now, in our case, that liquidity is right over there, and we are right now counting that this liquidity will never get picked up. Because at any bottom, there has to be some kind of liquidity below certain levels where the bottom is, that never gets picked up. And right now, that's these levels. So there is no reason right now to go below, you know, 18K, because on below 18K, there is no liquidity over here. Now, the only liquidity right now is below 15K, but there is no reason to go back even below 21.5K, because this week up here picked up all of that. The week picked everything that there was below that. So if you are going to talk about liquidity, there is no liquidity to pick up left. You got to go down to 15K to pick up anything. You know, and right now we are sitting at 25K, so you gotta go net and down, you know, 10K to pick up whatever leftover is here, and that's not much, guys. That's not much. You know, because these guys that got billions and billions of money and they doing, you know, buying a lot of stuff, then they're not gonna, the accumulation zone and this liquidity accumulation zone is done the way we see. There is no reason to go back. So right now, I hope you understand a little bit. Let me just go a little bit back in time to get my lines over here back. So I hope you understand why we pumped over here, because we hit very important support level. I just hope you understand how these expanding musical instruments or channels work, and we're going towards and why we stopped over here, why we have this 10% dump over here, because we exploded 35% and pulled back. So some kind of consolidation pattern, something is gonna happen up here. We don't know, we don't have any pattern, we just have, you know, straight lines towards the upside over here, almost straight line. I mean, you gotta look at it on small time frames to see some kind of curvature, but you know, there is nothing wrong with the chart. Not only that, there is no topping pattern up here. Even on the 5 minute time frame, this is not the topping pattern, guys. This is not the topping pattern. It just moves a little bit down up here. There is also a trend line over here. Might be some kind of expanding musical instrument. Right now, it's gonna break up here and continue towards upside. I don't know, but this is not a topping pattern. Do you wanna know what kind of topping, what a topping pattern looks like? When you have a price going something like this over here, there is some kind of trend line. It breaks the trend line, then it tries to go up again, you know, and retest the trend line, and create some kind of new trend line below it, and it breaks that trend line over here and goes back above this trend line, and then, you know, fails that, and then there is this trend line over here and then falls down, and then you got this, you know, rounded top up here. That's a topping out pattern. That's a topping pattern when you go towards upside. You will see these kind of things on the small time frames as well. You might also have some kind of you know, double top up here, you know. That's a topping out pattern. You might have a head and shoulders pattern where it goes you know, up here, it breaks some kind of line, it goes up here towards top, goes down, doesn't even come all the way there, it goes down, and right now you get a head and shoulders pattern. These are topping patterns. These happen after you break certain level, you know, you go up too much, you break trend lines, you retest them, you try again over a certain amount of time. There is created some kind of pattern and goes down. That's a topping out pattern. Right now we don't have any kind of topping out pattern. You gotta go to the 5 minute time frame to see anything that right now is you know, toppish about this up here. We just exploded towards upside up here, you know, consolidated a little bit, went down, and right now it's pulling down, but it's not bearish pattern. It's not a bearish topping out pattern. It's not a bearish topping out pattern. If you look at a 1 hour time frame, we got nothing. We just got one move down here, one move, and on bigger time frames is literally nothing. We got a wick. So the panic, you can panic below the support down here, this level up here, 22.2 or something like that. That's when you can panic. Before that, anything that happens up here really doesn't matter. But when the move comes, guys, when the move comes and we break this line over here towards upside, there is no stopping this. This is gonna go to wherever the top is gonna be, and that top is gonna create a pivot point. Let me show you that on the weekly time frame. Once we break this line over here, this move is gonna go wherever it's gonna go. Maybe up here at, you know, 46k, maybe over here at 50, 60k, I don't know, but it's gonna create a pivot point. That pivot point we're gonna use to figure out when the big move is gonna happen, because this is not big move, this is just the pivot point. So, you know, it's gonna be something like this over here, or it's gonna be something like over here, maybe it's gonna be a little bit lower there. There will be a pivot point, right? And once this pivot point is created, we will have this very nice triangle that everybody is gonna be watching. And once the triangle breaks towards the upside, guys, the last part of the bull market, and then we go towards upside. I hope you understand a little bit more about technical analysis. I hope you understand a little bit more about patterns. I hope you understand why this is no big deal. You know, the 9.14% move towards the downside. I'm sorry it was a long video, but if you like this, join the channel, subscribe, hit the like button on the way out. We also got a Bybit link and community, TF Fans Club community. We do, you know, we got our Telegram channel. Guys, thank you for watching. I'm a little bit excited. I've been working all day long, and you know, I want to look at the charts. I'll see you around, guys. Bye-bye.